In a forgotten village in Senegal, where time seems frozen beneath the relentless sun, an old blind man waits, motionless, under the protective shade of a millennia-old baobab tree. This baobab, guardian of secrets and souls, seems to whisper to those who know how to listen, carrying the silences and buried wounds. In the distance, a black SUV breaks the ancestral silence with a harsh noise, shattering the fragile stillness of a frozen world. A wealthy heiress descends, Amira, a businesswoman with a hard, calculating gaze, coming to settle what she believes is a simple real estate matter. She does not realize that this simple act will unleash a truth buried for decades, forever upending their lives and those of the entire village. Welcome to Kébémer, in the heart of northern Senegal, where the burning red sand stretches endlessly beneath a mercilessly blue sky, almost indifferent to human tragedies. The hot wind carries the scent of acacia and eucalyptus, but also the acrid, unsettling smell of cracked earth and old, secret, heavy wounds. The village seems frozen in eternity, paced by the sacred beating of drums and the deep voices of elders, guardians of legends told around the fire, meant to soothe the pain of the living and the dead. Yet behind this idyllic facade, Kébémer hides deep fractures, ancestral rivalries, secret hatreds, and a heavy, oppressive silence about a tragedy that still haunts the village's nights. A tragedy the powerful strive to erase, using intimidation and fear to silence any free speech. Each morning, beneath the sacred Baobab, Saliou sits, barefoot, skin weathered by the years, hands marked by labor and pain. He appears fragile, a man broken by life. His eyes, clouded with milky white blindness, no longer see the visible world, but seem to capture the invisible. The breath of the wind, the rustling of leaves, the distant bird song, the prayers from the mosque, children's laughter, and above all, the whispers of tormented spirits. Saliou talks to ghosts, invokes Allah, but it is especially for his son, Samba, that he prays, who disappeared under suspicious circumstances 30 years ago, a wound time has never healed. A little kindness, just a crumb. May Allah reward you, he repeats endlessly. A fragile mantra, a silent plea, hiding an unfathomable pain, a deep despair. But in the shadows of the village, darker whispers circulate. Some say Saliou holds a secret so dangerous, it could bring down the powerful. That Samba's death was not an accident, but a premeditated act, orchestrated by those who truly hold the village's reins, cloaked in tradition and authority. One night, hooded figures were seen lurking near the baobab, exchanging words heavy with threat, fear, and vengeance. That day, dust swirls under an unyielding sun. The black SUV breaks the silence. Amira steps out, confident, determined to close her deal. But when she meets Saliou's gaze, she feels a chill. In this seemingly broken man, she senses an unshakable strength, a silent dignity that challenges all her certainties and the confinement of her city life. She then recalls a strange dream from the previous night where a voice whispered, "When you see the man without eyes, do not look away. That is where your healing begins." Despite a dull fear linked to the village's unspoken shadows, she approaches and offers a simple hello, her voice betraying an emotion she thought long buried. Saliou replies, his voice rough but full of wisdom and dignity. "Peace be upon you." In the following days, Amira returns to the village with quiet determination. Each time she comes, she carries small offerings, food prepared with care, medicines to ease aching bodies, But more importantly, she brings a calm and steady presence that seems to soothe the restless spirit beneath the ancient Baobab. Her visits become a rhythm, a gentle breaking of the long-standing silence that envelopes Saliou like a heavy cloak. At first, their communication is limited. Few words, long pauses filled with the sounds of the village and the whispering wind through the baobab's leaves. But slowly, through shared silences that speak louder than words, meaningful glances that convey unspoken understanding, and stories told in fragments and half-truths, a fragile yet undeniable bond begins to grow. Amira senses beneath Saliou's apparent frailty a well of strength, a resilience that has withstood decades of pain and waiting. It is a strength not loud or showy, but quiet and unyielding, like the baobab itself, rooted deeply and reaching for the light. Yet, beneath this fragile peace, Saliou carries a past, heavy with sorrow and rage, a wound that ties their lives together in a way Amira could never have imagined. The weight of this secret presses down on them both, a shadow lurking just beyond the warmth of their newfound connection. One clear, still night, when the village sleeps under a sky glittering with stars, Saliou finally gathers the courage to share the truth he has guarded for so long. His voice is low, rough with age and grief. Here, beneath this baobab, 30 years ago, my son Samba died. He was running, carefree and full of life, when a car came out of nowhere and struck him down. He fell into my arms, cold and lifeless. Since that day, I have waited, waiting for a sign, a reason to keep breathing, for divine justice to be served. Amira's breath catches. The air between them thickens with tension as she asks in a whisper, barely audible, "The car, whose was it?" Saliou lowers his head, the silence stretching, heavy with the weight of unspoken dangers and fears. "The village chief's," he finally replies, his voice a bitter whisper. A man all-powerful, above the law, a tyrant who crushes everything and everyone who stands in his way. My son was an obstacle to his plans, to his rule. From a bag, Amira pulls out a fragile, yellowed photograph, its edges worn by time and handling. She clutches it tightly, as if it were the only link to her own fractured past. "My mother told me once that the man in this photo saved me," she says, voice trembling. "But she never told me who he was." Saliou takes the photo with care, his blind eyes reflecting a sudden spark, a flicker of emotion, long held deep inside. "That's him," he says softly. "Samba, my son." Amira's voice breaks, barely a whisper, filled with disbelief and raw pain. "Then, I am your granddaughter." The years of buried sorrow, silence, and secrets finally break free as tears stream down their faces. In that moment, grief washes away the quiet that had strangled their souls, cleansing the wounds that had festered for decades. But this revelation is like a tremor, shaking the very foundations of the village. The elders, who had remained silent for too long, gather in secret under the cover of night. They call upon Nigor, the spirit guardian of lost souls, keeper of hidden truths, and protector of the fragile balance between forgiveness and justice. According to legend, peace can only return to those who dare to confront their past, even if it disrupts the powerful and threatens the delicate harmony of the village, stirring ghosts some believed forever buried. Transformed in spirit and resolve, Amira chooses a path that is both courageous and dangerous. She vows to break the silence that has bound her family and her village for generations, to unearth the hidden truths and to breathe new life into Kébémer, its roots, its history, and its people. She knows that this journey will come at a cost: the wrath of the powerful, threats to her safety, and the loneliness of standing against a system built on fear and silence. From this resolve is born the Saliou House, a sanctuary for the forgotten, the wounded in body and spirit, a place where the vibrant songs of the Pula people rise again, where children laugh and learn to read, where elders pass down wisdom, and where justice, memory, and truth reclaim their voice. Saliou, once broken, becomes the grandfather of light, a healer of memories and bridge between generations. He carries the collective conscience of a village ready to strip away the masks and face its darkest ghosts, even if it means confronting the deepest shadows of the past.